Zombies 2 ended in a cliffhanger with the promise of another installment. So far, Disney hasn't mentioned another movie, and the cast members have remained mum. But that hasn't stopped us from coming up with Zombies 3 theories that will blow your mind away. Who knows? Disney may even pick up one of them. Number 10. Why Bonzo can't speak English. First, let's teach you a phrase in zombie language. That's how you say I'm hungry in zombie. Crazy, right? Now, have you ever wondered why all the other zombies speak English, but Bonzo only speaks the zombie language? Bonzo is fluent only in the native zombie language, making him unable to talk directly to humans. While in human territory, he rarely speaks, as his messages need to be translated by his friends. He is a very kind person even when the humans shun him, and he likes to greet new people with a hug. In the original movie, he befriends Addison by offering her a flower, which she wants to accept, but doesn't take it due to the cheer squad not wanting her to socialize with zombies. Bonzo also has a potential relationship with Bree. At the end of the first movie, he compliments Bree and gives her a spin. Generally, Bonzo likes everyone, but he has a special spot in his heart for Bree. Okay, here's a crazy theory that explains why the sweetest person in the movie can't communicate in English. His mom was human, and there was some sort of trouble in childbirth because it was a human giving birth to a zombie. Due to the trouble giving birth, it affected his speech. Well, Bonzo may not speak English, but he is definitely the dopest DJ in Seabrook and Zombie Town, and his music does the communication. We hope that Zombies 3 will give Bonzo more screen time because he is totally amazing. Number 9. Twilight Crossover. After watching the first Zombies movie, fans theorized a Riverdale crossover. Riverdale tells the story of Archie and his friends Jughead, Veronica, and Betty that revolves around a murder mystery and teen drama and touches on social cliques, romances, and single-parent families. Did you know that the showrunners Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa almost developed a TV show about Archie and his friends in a zombie apocalypse? It was based on The Afterlife with Archie, a comic about the undead in Riverdale that Aguirre-Sacasa created. Back in 2017, Aguirre-Sacasa also teased that bringing in the supernatural wouldn't be entirely out of the realm of possibility. In this alternate universe, a zombie outbreak hits Riverdale after Jughead asks teen witch Sabrina Spellman to use magic to bring his pet dog back to life. Sabrina has to turn to dark magic, and the dog is reanimated as one of the undead. He bites Jughead, who spreads the disease throughout Riverdale. Well, since there was no Riverdale reference, fans now theorize that we could have a Twilight crossover. It can't be a coincidence that Boo Boo Stewart just happened to appear in Seabrook, and his eyes glowed like the rest of the werewolf's eyes. Could Boo Boo Stewart be the Great Alpha in Season 3? We guess we just have to wait and see. Maybe he was hiding his white hair with a wig when he showed up at the diner? Number 8. Kids. We know that an accident at the Seabrook power plant resulted in an explosion that caused half the population of Seabrook to turn into brain-eating zombies. Since the explosion happened 50 years prior, we're assuming that the zombies were able to reproduce, even though that somehow beats logic. A zombie is characterized by a human who is clinically dead. No heartbeat, no circulating blood, but with an active nervous system, meaning the brain is still alive, and the senses are still working. They are also able to navigate and interact with the environment, but they are not really alive. So far, the Zombies franchise focuses on teenagers in Seabrook. But have you ever wondered where the other younger zombies are? The only child we see often is Zoe, but we don't see her in class or interacting with her age mates. A theory suggests that Zombies 3 should at least give insight into the zombie babies. What do they look like when they're babies? Do the younger kids face the same problems as teenagers in high school? Well, Zombies 3 may not focus on the kids, but it would be great if they gave viewers more insight. Number 7. Theme. The idea behind Zombies and Zombies 2 is essentially about being open to change and accepting differences. We have to accept that for a Disney project, the themes tackled are pretty heavy. The first film dealt with zombies trying to fit into the world of humans, showing them that they deserve acceptance like anybody else, and as Zed says, they're not monsters. The second installment shows a world where zombies and humans are finally living in harmony. Zombies 2 explored fresher dilemmas, especially with Zed's own prejudices against the werewolves. This serves as an interesting take on intersectionality and how victims of prejudices often carry their own prejudice towards another group or community. Now that we've already dealt with prejudice and acceptance, what else could Disney explore? The assumption is that Disney will continue to focus on the same themes, and we can expect the third part to focus on Addison's own self-discovery. However, many fans have said that they would love to see something else other than the themes which have already been tackled. Okay, let's give Disney a chance to surprise us with a theme, but if you can think of something out of the ordinary, let us know in the comments section below. Number 6. Outside Seabrook. Seabrook High School is known for uniformity, traditions, and pep rallies, especially for their sports teams. Their football team did nothing but lose until Zed started having Eliza hack his Z-band, and with him on the team, they won a lot of games. The students, however, took cheerleading very seriously, more ever than their academic work. It's implied that the reason the football team always lost was because all the best athletes become cheerleaders. Even the coach vaguely blames this on Seabrook, putting cheer before the actual sport. We've also been introduced to the school's environs in Zombie Town, but what else happens outside these boundaries? The residents of Seabrook probably accepted the zombies because they were initially part of them, but we would love to see what the rest of the world thinks about them. How would they react when they meet in the malls and the beach and they turn full zombie? The one time they probably interacted with the outside world as zombies was on the day of the homecoming game. Bucky found out about Zed's Z-Band hack and had his followers Stacy, Tracy, and Lacey steal Eliza's laptop to hack the Z-Bands. They succeeded, resulting in Zed, Eliza, and Bonzo turning full zombie and being taken away by the zombie patrol. We totally want to see more of them outside Seabrook. The theory is that after high school, the zombies will go to different tertiary education institutions where they'll face different challenges. Number 5, a lost sibling. The introduction of a lost sibling or a twin has been a wild card for various films throughout the years. One of the theories going around suggests that this could also happen in Disney Zombies. We've had 2 mind-blowing scenarios. The first one is that Zed and Zoe have a secret sibling. We'll get to that in a bit. First, let's talk about giving Addison a sibling. Addison is probably not being raised by her biological parents. Otherwise, how do we explain the white hair? That means that her family members are either dead or they have been looking for her all this time. For the sake of Disney audience, let's assume that her family members are still alive. Our theory suggests that due to unavoidable circumstances, Addison's parents had to leave her behind or give her up for adoption. An even wilder theory is that her parents kidnapped her because they could not bear children of their own, but they didn't know that she was supernatural until she turned a certain age. Therefore, they've been giving her some suppressing pills in the name of vitamins so that Addison would not discover her true heritage. Whatever dropped from the sky will definitely be the connection between Addison and her biological family. If it doesn't come bearing her parents, we may be introduced to a sibling, a sister perhaps, or maybe even a twin. Number 4, Zeds Backstory. As mentioned earlier, the other candidate for a sibling is Zed. There has to be a reason why we have never seen his mom, and since Disney didn't give us the answer, we came up with our own theory. Maybe she wasn't affected by the zombie outbreak and had to leave her family behind because she was still human and not a zombie. Any trace of her had to be removed because the memory was too painful. The other theory is that Zed is a hybrid. His mom is a human who fell in love with a zombie and kept it a secret from her family. After Zoe was born, her family found out and she had to leave so that she wouldn't put her new family in danger. While she was living as a human outside Zombie Town, Zed's mom remarried and had another baby. Zombies 3 will probably introduce the sibling who will reunite with Zed and Zoe, and hopefully the mom if she's still alive. We came across another interesting theory that says that Zed's mom was killed by Addison's parents. This actually sets up the perfect conflict for Zombies 3. Zed will have trouble loving Addison knowing that her parents killed his mom, but in the end, they will, as usual, teach viewers another vital societal lesson. The mistakes of our parents should not define us. Number 3, time jump. Okay, we know that this one's far-fetched, but considering the movie started 50 years after the explosion, a time jump is definitely not out of the question. In fact, our theory suggests that the movie could take place before the explosion. We're sure the zombies didn't just back down without a fight. Addison explained to Zed that her family hated the zombies because one bit her grandfather's ear off years prior. Maybe this happened in the middle of a Cold War before the government made the Z-Bands. We wouldn't be surprised if we find out that the explosion was not even an accident, but it was something that was orchestrated by certain people in power to get rid of their rivals. A time jump could also mean going into the future. The theory is that the meteor, which fell from the sky, caused a shift in time, and we now have zombies, werewolves, and humans who have intermarried and given birth to hybrids. Or it could place them in another dimension where Addison is the only one who remembers what happened in Seabrook, and she has to find her friends and explain everything. Number 2, new species. Okay, this is definitely not a new theory, but we're almost certain that Zombies 3 will introduce a new species in Seabrook, and our best guess is that they will introduce aliens. We basically see them land at the end of Zombies 2. Most likely they're connected to the stone that created the zombies and werewolves. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that the night before Prawn, there was a shot that showed the transition of an amazing starlit sky and the Milky Way across the trees in the Forbidden Forest. That could have been a standard time transitional visual, but it could have also been a foreshadowing. We've already covered the possibility of vampires, witches, mermaids, and even unicorns, so make sure you check the channel out for more details. Addison will be the focus in Zombies 3 since she's the one who is determined to find where she really belongs. According to common theories, the A in her name represents alien. But have you ever thought that it could also mean alpha, like the great werewolf Alpha? Plus, you may not know this, but Addison's last name is Wells. If we stick to initials representing species, then Wells could mean that she is a werewolf like Willa, Winter, and Wyatt. And number 1, exchange student. Okay, if we won't get a new species, we should at least get a foreign exchange student. These guys always spice up a movie. Someone who has never been in contact with a zombie or a werewolf. He or she could also shake things up a bit and probably come between Zed and Addison's love. This exchange student could also be the key to helping Addison in her quest to discover who she really is. Or the new addition could pretend to be an exchange student in order to destroy Addison and keep her identity a secret because the truth could unearth unwanted secrets. So, do you have a crazy Zombies 3 theory? Well, let us know in the comments section below. This has been Riveted, and we publish amazing videos daily. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification to stay up to date.